Hello, good evening to all center. Welcome in today's current affair class. So, uh, we will discuss some important topic today that was in news last 1 week, or we can say last 15 days. Okay, and the topic for today's current affair include like first topic, that is basic one we can say a group of nations called basic was in news. Basic countries was in news because there was a 28th ministerial meeting 28th ministerial meeting of this group of country, that is about, they talked about because of climate change. Okay, climate change, the basic group of countries. Why this group of nations voice is important for such a important international issues like about the climate change? And the venue was what was the venue? Basically, it's Sao Paulo, Brazil. Okay, so that's why basic countries was in news, and we'll see the formation of basic countries, some basic history of the basic countries and what are the important things. So let's start with this topic, basic countries. Then we'll discuss what are the next topic will be after the completion of entire topic. So what is all about this basic? Now first understand what is basic. You know, like other block of countries like SAARC, BRICS, similarly basic. The country include you like Brazil, South Africa, India, and China. So we can say it is a group of 4 newly industrialized nations. We can say a group of 4 newly industrialized nations, or we can say developing nations. Okay, basic country. So basic country include Brazil, South Africa, India, and China. The group of, it is a group of, we can say block of 4 newly industrialized developing nations. Now what is the meaning of this newly industrialized developing nations? Basically it is a, we can say it's a socio-economic categorization of countries. Socio-economic categorization of countries that depend on that mainly depend on industrialization and urbanization. Okay, newly industrialized developing nation, the group of 4 newly industrialized developing nation called Brazil, South Africa, India, and China. Basic motive behind the formation of this country, it was established in 2009. Okay, it was established in 2009, and the summit is called Copenhagen Climate Summit. So 2009 there was one climate summit, we can say a conference of party, the COP15 of UNFCCC. Basically it was a COP15 of UNFCCC. Okay, the Copenhagen basically in Denmark. Okay, So there was a international agreement, international conference where developed and developing nation means join hand together and discuss some of the important decisions they had taken how to tackle climate change. So is that session, that is Copenhagen summit, that was happened in 2009, Denmark. It is called Conference of Party 15 meeting of UNFCCC. Then there are basically these four countries come together and pledged that they will means how they will be reduce the emission of carbon dioxide, that is the main cause of climate change, and they also pledged together they will help to less or poorer nations in technological aid and providing a financial help to other nations. So basically this meeting was important because it was meeting, it is happened in August, and we know in coming December there is a meeting scheduled to be held in coming December, that is COP25, a new conference meeting of UNFCCC. So COP25 of UNFCCC scheduled to be held in Chile, South America. So, and it was a meeting basically in August 2019, and the aim of meeting of COP25, this meeting was very important. Means all the four nations means voice together to speak their concern about the ongoing climate changes and the consequences that happened because of the climate change. Now the main thing behind to understand entire scenario, basic include your Brazil, South Africa, India and China, and why this group is important for taking decision for entire climate change. You know, basically include your, it represent 1/3 of the geographical area, 1/3 of the world's geographical area, and also 40% of the world population. Okay. So this basic, the group of four nations, that is newly industrialized country, the area covered, geographical area is 1/3 of the world's geographical area, and 40% of the world population is represented by this group of four nations. That's why their voice is dominant while dealing with the consequences of climate change and what steps should be taken by government, developed and developing nations to reduce the impact of greenhouse gas. Now you see here the one organization called UNFCCC. What is UNFCCC? What is COP? I talked about the COP. This is Conference of Party. What is this? And basically the country, this group of nations, it will be in December. COP25 will be in December. That will be in Chile in South America from 2nd to 16th December 2019. From 2nd to 16th December 2019. So scheduled to be held in December of in this year, that is from 22nd to 16th December 2019. Okay. So basic things you should know from this basic countries like Brazil, South Africa, India and China. The four nations represent 40% of the world population and 1/3 of the geographical area. And this basically the group bloc nations established in 2009, that is called Copenhagen Climate Summit, where the group of four nations joined hand together and they said that their voice and they will speak against ongoing climate change, and they request to the developed nation, you should take some steps that like provide financial help to other nations also. And this group of 4 nations also said that if any of the demand will be rejected by developed nation, this all 4 group nation will be together walk out from this climate change conference. So that's why this voice of this bloc 4 nation is very important, that is discussed about the climate change. Okay. Now the main important agreement, the main important issue that was talked under basic recent 28 ministerial meeting, that implementation of all the 3 agreements, implementation of like UNFCCC, Kyoto Protocol and Paris Agreement. Okay. So all 3 like United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, all 3 should be implemented. So this group of 4 nation leaders said that represent this in this meeting our Ministry of Forest, Climate, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change participated and said that if all the nations, this is the duty of all the nations to implement Paris Agreement both letter and spirit. What is the meaning of letter and spirit? Basically, whatever the commitment they means placed themselves in coming years, they will reduce the greenhouse gas. They should also implement it, not in only in paper. They should implement in practical manner. So that's why this meeting is very important, means before COP25, because a very important decision we will see that will be raised and that will be decided by both developed and developing country in the, in coming COP25 UNFCCC meeting. Now we'll discuss here about UNFCCC. What is the basic idea of UNFCCC? What is Kyoto Protocol and what is Paris Agreement? Why these 4 nations giving more emphasis on this 3 agreement? Why they said that this agreement should be implement both letter and spirit? And they're concerned about the climate change related issues. A report published, some of the international organization published a report. According to report, they said that the developing nations are more vulnerable and they will be more affected because of the ongoing climate change. So it is very necessary to take some urgent step to reduce the impact of greenhouse gas in atmosphere, that reduce the impact of climate change on such countries that are more vulnerable, that will be affected. As you know, 40% of the world population will be affected because of ongoing climate change. So that's why the voice of this all 4 nations is very important to know here. Okay. Now we'll discuss some important thing here. So what is UNFCCC? Basically, to understand how UNFCCC was established, you have to first understand about United Nations Conference on Economic and Development. This is called also in short form UNCED, and also it is known as Rio Earth Summit, that was happened in 1992. Okay, so United Nations Conference on Economic and Development. It is also called Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit because it was in Brazil. The venue was Brazil and happened in 1992. And basically in this meeting, in this conference, they talked, means group of nations, they basically talked about and discussed some of the international issues that is going on at that time, like some important issues, like important issues that was discussed under this conference, like about the scarcity, water scarcity of water, okay, like second is about how to shift our energy from fossil fuel to renewable source of energy. And some other top important issues, like they also talked about the sustainable development, concept of sustainable development. Okay, so some of the important issues discussed under United Nations Conference on Economic Development, that is also called Rio Earth Summit in 1992. Two important agreements signed under this conference, two important agreements, that is agreement that signed under, like one is called UNFCCC and another is called CBD. Two international agreements signed under this conference, United Nations Conference on Economic Development, where UNFCCC, basically what is the meaning of UNFCCC? Triple C, United Nation Framework Convention on Climate Change. Okay, so United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, there is at present 192 members, and when this 192 member annually meet somewhere a new location to discuss some of the important issues and solution for climate change, and they have discussed some of the important decisions, like how developed nation will help developing country to reduce their emission of greenhouse gases. So that meeting, basically the meeting of this United Nations conference is called a conference of party, that is called COP, or we can say conference of party. Okay, and when basically it's happened annually, okay, annually. So this is called a COP25, that is scheduled to be held in December of this year 2019 in Chile, that is South America. So that's why the meeting of BRICS, meeting of basic country is so important, because they already discussed some of the important issues that will be more elaborately discussed in this conference. Basically, this is the 4 nations they means talked about, and that conference that will be scheduled to be held in December, where a group of multi nations will be give more emphasis on the following issues. So United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change was basically an international agreement that basic idea of this agreement is how to reduce the impact of greenhouse gas on ongoing climate change, to stabilize our atmosphere. Okay, so this is the some of the important point you should know to know the entire summit, what is the summit is all about. Basically the main motive, you will see the meeting of basic country, they basically talked about the climate change. Okay, there are no other issues, they don't talk about other issues. their main agenda always be about the climate change and what steps should we take to reduce the impact of climate change. That is called UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And then one agreement called Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol that was signed in 1997 and came into effect in 2005. So Kyoto Protocol, basically the Kyoto is a place in Japan, okay, and it was signed in 1997 under UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. When the member of this organization means seated together and they started to talk how we will able, what steps should we take to reduce the emission of greenhouse gas, how means we will help to other poorer nations to protect them from such ongoing climate change affected. So that is called Kyoto Protocol Conference, okay, and it was signed in 1997 and came into effect in 2005. So basically under Kyoto Protocol they signed the first commitment period that was started from 2005 till 2012. Now what is the meaning of this first commitment period? Because under this protocol and under this event conference, both a developed country and developing nations, and this Kyoto Protocol basically work on the principle called CBDR, okay, basically its meaning is common but differential responsibility. This is the meaning of CBDR. This principle, this Kyoto Protocol basically work on the principle called CBDR, a common but differential responsibility. What is the meaning of this? What is the common here? Basically common is atmosphere. Atmosphere is common to everyone. But differential responsibility, it shows that this is the first responsibility of developed nations or highly industrialized country. They should first take some steps to reduce the greenhouse gas, emission of greenhouse gas. And this is the duty of these nations, that they should help the other developing nations, the poorer nation, for further installation of some new renewable source of energy. So this is the target given to the developed nation. Under Kyoto Protocol, only countries like US, Russia, some European nations, they have only their only duty to reduce the emission of greenhouse gas. Means there is no any target given to the developing nations, because there was a concern that developing nation is still, they have more problem like poverty, unemployment. So they are not so much developed, they have not so much industrialized nations. So it is not, this burden should not given to developing nation. The first burden given to developed country, highly industrialized country, that they should take the first step. And the sign called first commitment period, that is from 2005 till 2012. In this period, these developing countries will reduce the emission of greenhouse gas. Okay, so that is called first commitment period. That is from 2005 to 2012. And basically it work on the principle called CBDR. It means that only developed nations, it is basically only first take steps to reduce emission of greenhouse gas. Means developing countries have no any target to reduce greenhouse gas. Because why this happened, why this meeting, why this two categorization of country, one a developed country, another developing nations. So developing nations have their, because they are not responsible, you know, industrial revolution of 18th century, industrial revolution that was started in 18th century, most of the European nations and highly industrialized country, they set up the industries and they use more fossil fuels. And so they emit environment, they polluted environment more as compared to developing nation. Developing nation basically India, China, India, China, Brazil, South Africa. These are some countries who are recent year using fossil fuels. So this is not given burden to the developing nations. This is the sole burden given to the developed country. They will reduce the emission of greenhouse gas first, and then the target will given to developing countries. So this is the mechanism that was signed under Kyoto Protocol, and the first commitment period was signed, that is called 2005 to 2012. So again in 2012 there was an international agreement called Doha Declaration. So the first commitment period means 2005 to 12, that was end in 2012, and second Doha Declaration. Doha Declaration that was signed in 2012, or we can say, or amendment of the Kyoto Protocol. Amendment of the Kyoto Protocol means the first commitment period target was ended in 2012. So again in 2012 the group of nations sit together and they further set the target. What next step will take further beyond 2012? What the next step from 2012 to 2020? Basically a second commitment period was signed and set by a group of nations. That is called a second commitment period. That is means from 1st Jan 2013 to 31st December 2020. This is the second commitment period that was signed under Doha Declaration called Amendment of the Kyoto Protocol. That is called a second commitment period from 1st January 2013 to 31st December 2020. So under Doha Declaration there was been concern about who will finance the developing nations. So it was basically a developed country gave his commitment to provide financial help to developing nations by like $100 million US annually till 2020. So under Doha Declaration, it was developed nations like US, most of European nations that said that annually they will be mobilize the fund, that is $100 million to all developing nations, that is the developing nations, to shift more use of renewable source of energy for installation of solar energy, wind energy, because you know in our country we have a very good resource called solar energy resource, very good, but we have not such technology is not so much advanced in our country that will able to utilize the solar energy and convert in electric energy. So that's why we required some technology, we required some monetary help from other nations. So that's why these countries, developed countries, said that they will give $100 million annually to developing nations for using more renewable source of energy. They not use more greenhouse gas, because they said according to this agreement, it was said that they want to they gave such they frame such an idea, or they frame such a policy through which developing nations means not more depend on fossil fuels. Okay, they already polluted the environment. If the same rate, if developing countries also pollute the environment, then the situation become very worse. So the policy is like that, they provide some technical help, some technology helps, and some instruments, some mechanical instrument that will helps to reduce the using of fossil fuels, and more they will use a renewable source of energy, that is called solar energy and wind energy. This is the main motive behind for Doha Declaration. So presently we are implementing the Doha Declaration, that is amendment of the Kyoto Protocol, and in this meeting, 28th ministerial meeting, group our nation's foreign minister, our environment minister also said that this is the commitment, that commitment that was given by developed nations should be implement also, okay, because this developed nation is not providing financial help annually, is not means giving $100 million annually. So this is they urged this, means requested the developed nations ki whatever you have committed in Doha Declaration you should implement also. That's why this meeting is important. Now another thing that is about the Paris Agreement. So things you should know about CBDR, that is common but differential responsibility. Okay, and the Paris Agreement that was signed in 2015. Okay, and this is the Paris Agreement basically work on the principle called CBDR or RC. This is the principle. Kyoto Protocol, this is the principle of Kyoto Protocol. Protocol work on the principle called CBDR, common but differential responsibility, but the Paris Agreement that was signed in 2015, it worked the principle called CBDR RC. What is the meaning of this? This is the same meaning, common but differential responsibility and respective capabilities. Okay, so Paris Agreement, what is all about the Paris Agreement? So Paris Agreement is basically what step will take by a government, both developed and developing nations government post 2020. This talk about the post 2020. Okay, because till 2020 we have a Doha Declaration, that is second amendment of the Kyoto Protocol, and second commitment period, that is start from 1st Jan 2013 to 31st December 2020. So what the next step will take by a developed country and developing country, that is the policy that the agreement signed called Paris Agreement. And the Paris Agreement signed, and it work on the principle called CBDR RC. Basically its meaning is common but differential responsibility and respective capabilities. Why it is called respective capabilities? As different nations have their own capacity to reduce greenhouse gas. When we say developed nations are more capable of shifting from fossil fuel to renewable source of energy because they are economically strong, they have very good technology advance. So it is the first developed countries that will use some high advanced technology. That is means how we use the tidal energy into electrical energy, how you use wind energy, how to use solar energy, because they are more technology upgradation. But developing nations have less technology, they are more still we are more focusing our main policy, whatever we are making policy, that is to reduce the poverty, and how we have to means reduce the impact unemployment, poverty, that is the agriculture backwardness. These are some of the still we have issues apart from climate change issues. So our capacity is very less as compared to the other nations. So our capacity, whatever our capacity will be reduce greenhouse gas according to our own commitment. So basically a Paris Agreement, it also work on the principle called nationally determined contribution, NDC. That is the meaning called Paris Agreement also talk about that is the called NDC, called nationally determined contribution. What is this NDC? It is basically a place taken by each and every nation under Paris Agreement. Like India also placed that key in coming years, how much amount of greenhouse gas I will reduce, how much amount of electrical energy we will produce by more renewable source of energy, and how much of forest cover that will be increase the forest cover of our country, that will help to for means carbon sink concept. So nationally determined contribution of India, what India placed? India placed that in coming years, will reduce 30 to 35% greenhouse gas emission till 2030. Means till 2030, coming 2030. Whatever the present level, basically it's about the given a 2005 level. Okay, 2005 level means in 2005, this is 2005 basically a base year. Here a base year. In 2005 we means producing suppose 1000 ton of carbon dioxide by burning of fossil fuel. 1000 ton. In 2005 this is a base year, and suppose 1000 ton of carbon dioxide emission because of burning of fossil fuels. So what Indian government committed under Paris Agreement, that is called India's nationally determined contribution, that till 2030 this is the 30 to 35% of carbon dioxide emission, 1000 ton. Suppose that 2005 it was 1000 ton. So till 2030 will reduce 30-35% greenhouse gas emission, that is from 2005 level. The first commitment signed by India. Indian government. Second said that will 40% of electric energy will produce by using renewable source of energy. Okay, 40% of electric energy will till 2030. Again, it's a target set 2030. In coming 2030, 40% of electric energy means will use and by us using a renewable source of energy. This is the second commitment given by India under Paris Agreement. And the third one that is additional forest cover that helps in 2.5 to 3 billion carbon sink. So what is the meaning of this carbon sink here? Means it is commitment given to Indian government in coming year 2030 will increase the forest cover of our country, a dense forest cover of our country. At present we have 22% of total geographical area of our country is forest cover. But according to forest policy, we should have 33% of total geographical area. So till coming 2030 we will increase the forest cover, a dense forest, and that will be this forest basically include a vegetation that Vegetation that means absorb atmospheric carbon dioxide. And when the plant or a tree when absorb atmospheric carbon dioxide in the process of photosynthesis, this concept is called carbon sink. One question from Ludhiana: what is the difference between CBDR and CBDRC? See, CBDR basically it work on, Kyoto Protocol is work on the principle of CBDR. It is called Common but Differential Responsibility. Means when Kyoto Protocol was signed in 1997, it is sole responsibility given to the developed countries. Means developing nations are totally immune. They have not give any target ki this much amount of greenhouse gas you have to reduce. So all target, that is this is only responsibility given to the developed nation. That is called common but differential responsibility. Common in the sense the atmosphere is common to everyone. It is not given to the developed nations or developing country. It is common to both nations, both type of nations. But in 1997, Kyoto Protocol mainly work on the principle, means this is the responsibility of the developed country or industrialized country. They polluted the environment first because of using of more and more fossil fuels. So this is the responsibility of this industrialized country to reduce the greenhouse gas. But when the time changed because of from 1997 till 2015, all the nations like developing nations like India, China, Brazil, they are more become newly industrialized country. Means we are also exploring our more means economic growth is progress year by year. So we are using more fossil fuel these days. From last 2 or 3 decades, we are using more fossil fuels. So this is the now when we talk about CBDR-RC. Now this Paris Agreement will work on the principle of CBDR-RC. Under Paris Agreement, this is not a given target to developed nation or developing nation. Both the nations have responsible for emission of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. So both the nations equally in a balanced manner, they are duty to reduce the impact of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. So this is called RC, basically respective capabilities. Means this is the target given to developed nation also, target given to developing nation also. Now this is the duty of both the nations, both the type of nation to reduce the emission of greenhouse gas. So that's why it is called CBDR-RC. RC basically respective capabilities. So when we talk about like this is the like India, and when we talk about Bangladesh. Okay, now both the nation India and Bangladesh will both the nations means duty to reduce the emission of greenhouse gas, but capacity of India is more as compared to the Bangladesh. India is more technologically advanced, more economic strong as compared to the Bangladesh. So this is called respective capabilities. So India here plays that he will reduce 30 to 35% greenhouse gas emission till 2030. So Bangladesh will say, no, this is not my capacity. My capacity is just to reduce only 5 to 10%. Okay, I will means Bangladesh government will say that we will we will try to shift some renewable source of energy, but our capacity is not as stronger as compared to the India. So Indian government placed that they in coming 2030 they will reduce 30 to 35% of greenhouse gas emission. So this is not the such high capacity of the Bangladesh. So Bangladesh means responsible for, this is the duty of the Bangladesh to reduce the impact of greenhouse gas, but it depends on their capacity. I will just 5 to 10% I will reduce. Okay, so this is called a respective capacity, and that is called CBDR-RC. Okay, Ludhiana, are you understood this concept? Difference between CBDR and CBDR-RC. Now this Paris Agreement will entirely work on this principle, CBDR-RC. Okay, common but differential responsibility, that is respective capacity. So what I am saying that here, the third commitment period of Indian government is additional forest cover that helps in 2.5 to 3 billion carbon sink. So carbon sink and carbon sequestration, the two term that is called carbon sequestration. Storage, basically storage of carbon dioxide, that is called carbon sequestration, and carbon sink, that is the concept called a green carbon and blue carbon, the concept called green carbon and blue carbon. Green carbon basically we can say terrestrial vegetation. When we talk about terrestrial vegetation, okay, like increasing the forest cover on land surface, increasing the forest, dense forest over the increasing the forest area, that is called green carbon, basically greenery. You know, India's National Green Mission of India. What is the main motive of National Green Mission? This is the National Green Mission of India to increase the forest cover of our country, and because of more forest, that will be absorb more atmospheric carbon dioxide, because you know the photosynthesis process required a carbon dioxide. So more absorption of carbon dioxide, atmospheric carbon dioxide, that will help to reduce the presence of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and that is called green carbon. And when we talk about the blue carbon, basically it include aquatic vegetation. It include aquatic vegetation. So this is the some of the steps taken by Indian government to fulfill the Paris Agreement. So that was the basic ministerial meeting, 28th ministerial meeting that was happened in August of this year in Sao Paulo, Brazil. They talked that they discussed that it is the duty of a developed country to financially help the developing nations. One report published, they also talked about the one report published by IPCC. Fifth IPCC report. Fifth IPCC report said that developing nations are more vulnerable that affected by climate change. So when we say the developing nations are more vulnerable as compared to the developed country like India, China are more vulnerable because of ongoing climate change. Even economic survey of our country also said that because of this extreme weather events, the place which is more drought like Maharashtra place, that is a more drought in the sense that will be more affected in coming years because of monsoon rainfall is failure of monsoon rainfall. It is not timely because at the month of June it's not happened timely, and this cause further distress agriculture in our country. So fifth IPCC report warned these developing nations that you should took some step how to reduce the impact of greenhouse gas emission. So that's why basic countries try to means this basic developed countries okay. So basic countries, that a group of 4 nations, Brazil, South Africa, India and China, they urge developed countries to provide financial help to poorer developing nations because the developing nations are more affected because of ongoing climate change. And the report also said that what will happen when the temperature will be 1.5 degrees Celsius, till 2 degrees Celsius. When average temperature will be increased, global average temperature will increase more 2 degrees Celsius, then what are the consequences happened? And these developing countries are more vulnerable. This will be more affected because the people started to migrate from one place to another place. Small island nations that will be submerged under the water because of melting of glaciers, sea level will be rise. So small island nations that is present mid of the oceans like Hawaiian island, Cuba island present, small Philippines islands. These are some islands are present in mid of the oceans. So because of rising sea level, this situation will become when this country will be submerged under the water and the people start to migrate from this nation to other nations. So that is all again a cause of concern. Okay, so that's why basic nations means urge the developed countries to take some steps, some means financial help. They provide some financial help to poorer nations. Because of this, they will able to help in mitigation and adaptation of because of ongoing climate change. So that's why this meeting is very important, and you should know, because in GS paper 3 the question will come in mains examination, even in prelims. So for prelims point of view, you should know the what is basic. Okay, one thing basic you should know. Second, you should know what is UNFCCC, Kyoto Protocol. Important term under this that is important for prelims: Paris Agreement, CBDR, CBDRRC, nationally determined contribution, IPCC report. Okay, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 thing you should be means important concept you will cover by one single current affair issue, that is 28 ministerial meeting. Now this all 8 are important for your current affair for prelims point of view, even for mains examination. So you should know what is basic, establishment of basic country, what is UNFCCC, what is Kyoto Protocol, what is Paris Agreement, what is CBDR, CBDRRC, NDC, National Determined Contribution, and IPCC report. IPCC basically means Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. What is the full form of IPCC? Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Okay, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC report. Basically, IPCC they themselves not do any research. The scientist, there is no any scientist in IPCC. They not go and visit a affected area and doing research. Basically, they collect the report of many other organizations, like a report published by World Wide Fund Nature, report published by biodiversity organizations, and they collected the report of all organizations and make one summary report. That is called a summary report. That is more understandable by any other nations. By reading IPCC report, we come to know what are the ongoing consequences happened because of the climate change, and even it suggests other nations what the steps they will should take in future to reduce the impact of climate change. So these are the some important things you should know from a basic 28 ministerial meeting that was happened in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So if you have any doubt from this topic, this is a very broad topic. You have there are many concepts you learned from the new concept you learned today, like UNFCCC, Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement, CBDR. So be prepared with each and every term. All these terms are very important. So if you have any doubt, then just ask a question here. So no doubt, student. Okay. Next topic, the Code on Wages Bill 2019. The Code on Wages Bill 2019. This is important for GS paper by GS paper 2. Okay, and basically the bill passed by Ministry of Labor and Employment. New Code on Wages Bill 2019, it also received the assent of the President, and now the bill will be implemented all over India, and we will discuss some of the important provisions of this bill and how this bill is considered as a historical step. It is considered a historical step taken by government. How it is, why it is called historical step? It will benefit 50 crore worker of our country, labor or worker of our country, and another important point regarding this bill is the bill is about the payment of wages. Bill is about the payment of wages and timely payment. This is the main motive behind the passing of this bill. That is there was an issue regarding the payment of wages, a minimum wages that was not match the international standard. So the Code on Wages Bill 2019, it was passed by Ministry of Labor and Employment, and a historical step taken by the government. It will benefit 50 crore labor or worker of our country. A payment of wages and timely payment means the payment will give on time, not there should be no any delay while giving payment to the workers. What is the economic survey viewpoint? Economic survey said that, what economic survey said, higher suggested that higher minimum wage could play a key role in elimination of income inequality and alleviating poverty in the country. See, this is the economic survey suggested the labor ministry said that if we will fix the higher minimum wage, that is if we'll fix the higher minimum wage, that will play a key role in elimination of income inequality. That is the main issue in our country, that is income inequality. As you know, the slogan given by government, Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas. Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas will not possible if we will not consider or concerned about the income inequality. If the income inequalities will be continue will be in our country, that will be not fulfill the agenda of the government. So the economic survey said that higher minimum wage, the fixing of higher minimum wage could play a key role in elimination of income inequality and alleviating poverty in the country. Because of poverty, that is if we will set a minimum wage, that every worker will get a sufficient amount that is suitable for their own living standard, that fulfill their all basic needs, then there is no chance of poverty in our country. So to implement the suggestion given by economic survey, a labor ministry passed the bill called the Code on Wages Bill 2019. Now, what are the important provisions in this bill? We'll focus the things like there are 4 law that is already effected all over the country. Now this 4 law will be replaced, or we can subsume 4 labor law that replaced. One is called the Payment of Wages Act. The Payment of Wages Act. Second, the Payment of Bonus Act. Third, the Equal Remuneration Act. And the fourth one, the Minimum Wages Act. So this 4 law, that is the 4 law that will be replaced and that will be subsumed under the Code on Wages Bill 2019. All the 4 law will be now replaced. Okay, and Payment of Wages Act, Payment of Bonus Act, Equal Remuneration Act, the Minimum Wages Act. So be prepared with this point also for prelims point of view. You should know what are the 4 laws that subsumed under the Code on Wages Bill 2019. The 4 laws include the Payment of Wages Act, Payment of Bonus Act, Equal Remuneration Act and Minimum Wages Act. Student, Ludhiana Center, Ranchi Center, if you have any doubt regarding topic that is going on here, please ask question. So all the 4 law will be subsumed under the Code on Wages Bill 2019. Now the minimum wages will be fixed by both central government and state government. Okay, minimum wages will be fixed by the both central government and state government. Now minimum wage is like central government will fix wages of worker who work in railway, oil fields and mines. So worker of all these three area, the minimum wage will fixed by or decided by the central government, and the rest of the state government will decide rest of the means minimum wage of rest of the worker that work in different sectors. So all the even a domestic worker will also come under the Minimum Wages Act, that is the Code on Wages Bill 2019. Only NREGA, the worker who means work under the NREGA will not come under this provision, that they will not come under the Code on Wages Bill 2019, because why? NREGA is a government scheme, sponsored scheme, and there is no relation between employer and employee. Okay, so worker that who work under NREGA, that will not come under, that will be not under come under the Code on Wages Bill 2019. This is a government sponsored scheme. There is no relation between employer and employee. That's why NREGA will come, not come. Okay. So it basically the wages of NREGA worker will decide by Ministry of Rural Development. Ministry of Rural Development. Ministry of Rural Development will decide the wages of NREGA worker. So only NREGA worker will be will not come under the Code on Wages Bill 2019. Rest of the worker will come, and the minimum wage that will decide means the worker who work under railway, oil fields, mines. That worker wages, minimum wage will be decided by central government, and that again a state government. The rest of the decided by the state government. Now here another important provision of this bill is floor wage. When we talk about the floor wage, what is floor wage? Floor wage basically it will decide by central government. Okay, decided by central government. Floor age is different from other. Floor age will be different from other state. Because you know, floor wage basically decided by the central government. Central government will decide the floor wage, and when during this provision, he will consider the living standard of the worker. So how central government will decide the floor wage? The central government must consider the living standard of the worker. Living standard of the worker. Okay, and floor wage is different from each geographical area. Each geographical area have different floor age, different floor wage, because like hilly areas, northeastern states, okay, Himalayan states, they means it depend on geographical area. Northeastern states floor wage will be different from floor wage that is decided by central government of Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, and the floor wage of highly affected area because like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, they have different floor wage that will be decided by the central government, but it depends on the geographical area. Central government first must consider the living standard of the worker, and every geographical area have different floor wage. All floor wage will be decided by central government. Remember, it will not decided by the state government. The minimum wage must be higher than floor wage. Okay, so the minimum wage, that is the minimum wage. Minimum wage, that is the floor wage. It is, you can say, a base wage. It should be a minimum. It should be a wage that will be decided by the central government because it is always less than. Means it is always less than minimum wage. So what is floor wage here? Floor wage basically you can say a base, some standard set by central government, that each state when they decide their floor wage, it always when they will decide their minimum wage of the worker, it will always be higher than floor wage. It is, you can say, a basic line, a standard line, a standard wage, and it is decided by the central government like recently 375 per day. It is called 375 per day. That means amount of amount should be given to each and every worker. This is the minimum, you can say, standard price, standard wage. And suppose this is the Jharkhand government, Bihar government, UP government. Suppose they will set the minimum wage. They will set the minimum wage, and this floor wage set by central government. Now what is the minimum wage? Always higher than the floor wage. So Jharkhand government will decide minimum wage, that will be suppose 400 per day. Bihar government will decide a minimum wage, suppose 390 per day. UP government will decide floor wage, that is 500 per day. So minimum wage that is decided by the state government will always higher than the floor wage. And the floor wage, you can say, a standard wage that is set by the central government, and it is depend on the living standard of the worker. Okay, it is living standard of the worker. And while deciding the floor wage, central government will take the help of central government may consult. Central government may consult central advisory body. Central advisory body may consult in central advisory body and state government. Okay, so while deciding the floor wage, the concept of floor wage is very important from prelims point of view. Okay, so that is the floor wage. Rachi, you not understood about floor wage. What is floor wage? It is a basic standard wage. Okay, that will be decided by the central government. While deciding the floor wage, a central government must consider the living standard of the worker. Okay, it must consider the living standard of the worker, and each geographical area have different floor wage. For example, northeastern states, living standard of worker is different from Bihar and from Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand. Living standard of worker is in southern India is different from northern India. So it's depend on the geographical area. Hilly states, hilly areas where the no plain area. So most of the people means worker will engage in mines and some natural activities to extract natural resources. Such type of activity. So the floor wage decide when central government will remember always floor wage only decided by the central government, and while deciding the floor wage, central government may consult a central advisory body, one body and other state government. And who will be the member of central advisory body? Central advisory body include the some members like employers, employee, okay, one employer, second employee, some independent body, independent member, and 5 member from the state government, 5 member from state government. See, the floor wage is most important thing here under the Code on Wages Bill that talk about the floor wage. It will be decided by central government, and central advisory body that central government may consult. See here the may word is using. Basically, it not means it not a word must. It may consult with the central advisory body in state government while deciding the floor wage. And the member who will be the member of central advisory body, the member like employers, employee, equal number of employers and equal number of employee, some independent member, and 5 member from the state government. That are the some member of the that will become a part of the. Yes, on the Bilaspur, basically they decide by the living standard per capita income. Okay, standard of the other state government data will be means state government say Bihar government will say okay, this is our GDP of state and this is the income per capita income of our state. So central government on the basis of the data collected by the state government, they can decide a floor wage of different geographical areas. So a floor wage, the minimum wage, when you talk about the minimum wage basically means decided by both central government and state government. Okay, state government and central government both will decide minimum wage. Central government will decide minimum wage of railways, worker of railways, oil fields and mines, and the rest worker minimum wage will be decided by the state government. So minimum wage always higher than the floor wage. It never be less than a floor wage. Okay, minimum wage, suppose minimum floor wage is 375 rupees per day. So minimum wage always be higher than a floor wage. This is the concept of floor wage. Any doubt? Under the Code and Wages Bill 2019, important thing that is the conceptual part is about the floor wage, and who will decide the floor wage. One question will come in prelims examination, maybe UPSC frame of one question, or in a GS paper 2 question will come about the government strategy. Basically, what is the main motive, what government want to say? Minimum law and maximum governance. This is the strategy of present government. They said that minimum law and maximum government. That's why they scrapped the all 4 laws and put under the single law. That is called a Code on Wages Bill 2019. And the main concept here is floor wage. Some other provision, important provision of this bill are include like this fixing of minimum wage. When we talk about the fixing of minimum wage, second provision like fixing of minimum wage. fixing of minimum wage means every 5 year minimum to every 5-year minimum minimum wage must be revised by central government and state government, and while revising or while fixing minimum wage, central government and state government must consider first skill of the worker and second thing the first skill of the worker and second thing about difficult of work means basically a fixing of this code on wages bill 2009 means restrict the government to fix the minimum code means fix the fixing of minimum minimum wages bill every 5-year minimum wage must be revised by central and state government. While revising the minimum wage, it consider the skill of the worker. Suppose the skill of the worker is more improved, they require more money, so they will give more money after 5 years because and difficulty of work. So there are a lot of challenges while doing such work, performing such an activity. So that is called fixing of minimum wage. So basically it prohibits the employer to fix the minimum wage of worker. It will always be revised in every 5 years. Okay. So this is the second provision, important provision of this bill. First one is no floor wage and the second is about the fixing of minimum wage. Yes, Bilaspur, to prevent the exploitation of worker, to uplift the living standard of the worker in our country, because more the worker are there is an income inequality, and that's why government is bringing such a bill that will help 50 crore workers, and that's what is also called historical step. Okay, because the maximum law that will be hurdle for any economic development. So less law, it will be very easy to implementation and is also very easy to execute the whatever the law is given by the government. And the third important provision about the overtime, payment of wages and deduction. Third is about overtime. Fourth one is payment of wages, deduction in wages. Okay, deduction. Sixth one is gender discrimination. So what is the first provision? That is about the floor wage, you know. Second provision about the fixing of minimum wage. Third one is about the overtime. If any worker, because working hour fixed by central government and state government, and if any worker who work extra, suppose the working hour fixed is 8 hours a day, if anyone means working 9 hours or 10 hours, means 1 hour 2 hour extra, that must be paid by a organization. That is the overtime. If anyone is working overtime, then must be paid by a government or organization. That is about the provision of overtime. Means the payment, this is the first time means introduced by the government, which is means talk about the there should be a strict law that if any worker is not getting their overtime payment, then they can file a case against the owner of the company. Overtime, payment of wages basically talks about how will pay the worker, basically in coins, currency notes, coin, currency note, by check, or directly credited to account, or any electric mode. So provision talked about key payment of wages, how we pay wages to the worker by coins, currency note, all the options are available. Okay, currency note, by check and directly credit to the account or any electric mode. Deduction provisions talked about ki your salary will be, some amount will be deducted by the company on the following grounds. Okay, on the following grounds your salary will be deducted, like for fine, if you have taken some advance, absent. So on the basis of all these three ground, your company, this is a authority given to the company, they can deduct a salary, they can deduct amount from your salary. If you are some fine, like you are not available on work, and if you have taken some loan from the company, then that will be always deducted. And this deduction must not be less than 50% of your salary. Means in anyhow your salary must be, whatever the amount is deducted, that must, you will always get a 50% of your salary. Suppose your salary is 10,000. So if you have taken loan from the government level, suppose 3 lakh or 4 lakh loan you have taken, so they can deduct only 5,000. Means every month you will get a 5,000 salary. That should be not must be not be less than 50% of your salary. And last provision here is about gender discrimination. Basically, if both male and female worker are skilled, have same experience, then both must pay equally. Okay, so about this gender, this prohibit the company to gender discrimination. They say that both male and female worker are, if they skilled, they have same skill power, they have same experience, and both are the same experience, then both must be pay equal amount. EPFO. One question, Bilaspur, what is EPFO? Employee Provident Fund Organization. Employee Provident Fund Organization. So these are the some important provision of this bill. Okay, maybe in question in prelims or mains will come regarding how government is implementing the good governance in our country. So this is some important thing about the Code on Wages Bill 2019. Okay, then we'll move to the next topic. One topic from science and technology, that is called Parker Solar Probe. Parker Solar Probe mission, that is it completed, why it was in news, it completed 1 year because it was launched in 2018. It is a NASA Living with Star program. It is a NASA's space program. It is a NASA launched satellite called, it is a part of Living with Star program. It is a part of Living with the Star program. Parker Solar Probe. Basically, the first, why this Parker Solar Probe is important? Because it's the first man-made instrument that will go very close to the sun. Okay, it will revolutionize the knowledge, it will revolutionize the knowledge, what the knowledge about the sun. So Parker Solar Probe mission, it is a NASA's favorite mission. You can say one mission that is completed 1 year this year, August 2019. It completed 1 year, and it is NASA's one program called Living with the Star, where NASA is sending satellite to know more about the stars. Our nearest stars is basically we see sun is our nearest stars, and Living with Star program, it is the first man-made, Parker Solar Probe is the first man-made satellite that will be go very close to the sun. That is, we can say distance, when we talk about the distance, it is very close, means somewhere like 6.616 million kilometer. How close? That is 6.16 million kilometer. This is the distance that is close to the sun. Okay, the first man-made satellite. Revolution about the knowledge about the sun, or will explore. It will explore suns and earth interactions. Okay, sun and earth interactions, what are the linkages between sun and earth? And this is the, like you see the instrument, Parker Solar Probe, that's look like this, something like this, and basically it is coated with coated with carbon composite shield that is 4.5 inch thick and withstand temperature around 1377 degrees Celsius. So why this Parker Solar Probe, when it will go very close to the sun, basically this satellite, outer surface of the satellite is coated with a carbon composite shield that is 4.5 inch thicker, and it can, this shield helps to stand such a high temperature 1377 degrees Celsius. So because of this high capacity, high heat tolerant metallic instrument basically used here, that will help to that will help to orbit the sun. That satellite will orbit the sun and collect the samples. The main area that will study, that is the corona of the sun. Okay, so which is the main area that will be studied under Parker Solar Probe is corona of the sun. Now when you know the sun, basically a core of the sun, then we have a photosphere, and then a chromosphere, and then the outer layer of the sun, that is called corona. So Parker Solar Probe will be study corona. Okay, and this is the area where we know the presence of solar wind, flares, highly magnetized materials that continuously ejected towards the earth. So this is the corona. Why the corona is more interesting point here? Like Chandrayaan 2 mission, what is the meaning of Chandrayaan mission? Chandrayaan 2 will study the south pole of the moon. This is the location where Chandrayaan 2 will study south pole of the moon. Similarly, Parker Solar Probe will study the corona, outer layer of the sun, where you see a maximum solar wind is present, a flare, a highly magnetized materials that is continuously ejected toward the earth. But because of the one important layer in our atmosphere, that is the magnetosphere. Earth, this is the earth, and we have a magnetosphere that when the solar wind reaches towards the earth, this magnetosphere protect the dangerous proton and electron that coming toward the earth. This magnetosphere reflect this proton and electron toward the space. So basically it protect us. This magnetosphere protect Earth's surface from landing dangerous proton and electrons. Okay, that ejected highly magnetized materials that is ejected from the outer part of the sun, that is corona, toward the earth, and because of the magnetosphere, basically it reflect the materials, highly magnetized materials, toward the space. So when this reflect toward the space, this is called space weather. And because of this continuously interaction of solar wind or highly magnetized material with our outer earth surface, that is magnetosphere, sometimes we see a disturbance on the earth surface in the form of a magnetic property of the earth is disturbed. And satellites, that means satellites that is the present in the atmosphere, present in the space, satellite disturbed and decreases the life period of the satellite. Okay, so the satellite which is present in the atmosphere, in the space, and because of the continuous interaction of solar wind with the magnetosphere, it affect the working condition of the satellites. That will not able to continue its journey, and because of this we will not able to get information because of the continuous. So basic idea, the scientific objective of this mission to study the source of this solar wind. What are the main source of all this? Solar wind, flares, highly magnetized materials that continuously eject toward the earth. What are the important sources? And how the transformation of heat from core to photosphere, photosphere to chromosphere, and chromosphere to corona. There are the four important layers of the sun. When we talk about the sun, four important layers, there are the four important layers. The corona is the outer layer. Okay, so this is the Parker Solar Probe missions. Similarly, our nations like ISRO also means planning to launch in 2020 mission called Aditya L1 mission. ISRO will launch Aditya L1 mission in 2020. This L1 mission is also will study the sun's atmosphere. That will be launched by ISRO. That is the part of our country space organizations. So again we are launching similar to the Chandrayaan 2 mission, one more historical mission that will be planning to launch by ISRO in coming years, that is Aditya L1 mission. So you have any doubt regarding Parker Solar Probe mission? The main objective of the mission about the solar wind, flares, highly magnetized materials that is continuously ejected. And what is the source? What is the main mechanism that with a very high speed, with a very high velocity, these magnetic materials are traveling in the space. Means cover a very short, in very short, within a second cover a millions of kilometer distance. So what is the main mechanism all this thing? Because after study of sun, because sun is the ultimate source of energy, it provides light and heat to our earth surface. Whatever you see the energy that exists on the earth surface because of the presence of sun. So that is the more interesting point. Scientists want to know more about sun's atmosphere and sun's outer layer, corona. Any doubt, student, you have? Try, I will give you PDF of all these important points that will be helped to read in your home and try to understand the things, the main crux, main basic idea behind all these current affairs. What is the objective of the Parker Solar Probe? And that is the important for GS paper 1 and GS paper 3 also, that is the science and technology part. And GS paper 1, you know, GS paper 1, that is geographical part and environmental, both will overlap to each other. So you can't say that this is the sole question will come in GS paper 3. Like Juno missions that was asked in UPSC 2015, that is the part of GS paper 1. Although it's a science and technology questions, that is a part of paper 3, GS paper 3, but it was asked in GS paper 1. Similarly, if this question will come in the GS paper 1 also, Parker Solar Probe, what are the significance? You have to write the significance. So what you will write in significance? Because you have this will help to forecast space weather. This will help to scientists to know the what will happen next 1 year, next 2 months, 3 months, because of continuous interaction of solar wind and our outer magnetosphere. See, because of it disturbs the magnetic field of the earth. Basically, magnetosphere sometimes disturbed because of the continuous movement of the solar wind. So because of this electrical means appliances that we are using on the earth surface that are disturbed. Sometimes it's highly energized particles because of it receives some high amount of energy, it explodes somewhere. Sometimes it explodes very violently and sometimes it disturbs the communications because of the continuous activity of corona, because you know corona have some sun sports also, sun sport activity of sun, that is continuously always change 11 years. Because of this sun sport activity, our magnetic field disturbed, electric signal disturbed, we are not able to communicate with other peoples. So these are the sometime disturbed our earth electrical signals. And at the second time, satellites, that is the main source that we know we are present on the earth surface. By keeping satellite in the space, we come to know about the different things present in the space and universe. And if the satellite communication on the earth surface is disturbed because of the continuous solar wind interact with this space satellite, then it will be not provide information, and so it will disturb the communication. To know all these things problem, the Parker Solar Probe will launched by NASA. It was launched by NASA in 2018. That will know what are the sources of solar wind flares and highly magnetized materials that continually ejected toward the Earth's surface. Okay, so sometimes it disturbed the communication. Okay, are you understood, Ranchi? Why it is important mission to know about all the important information of sun's atmosphere. One important announcement I want to tell you all that you already have received a next week class schedule. Okay, that is in your schedule you mention about Monday. On Monday your class is polity, but on Monday there will be no class of polity. The class of economic by Rajiv sir. Okay, and Tuesday onwards, from Tuesday onwards, both morning and evening will be your polity class. Okay, one thing, this is my request to all center, please note down, Monday there will be no class of polity, there will be class of economics, both in evening, morning and evening batch. From Tuesday your class will start polity, from Tuesday to Friday. Okay, so this is so please inform to you, those students who are not been present in your class, and we'll plan to come next. All the centers, please inform your student that on Monday there will be no polity class, there will be economics class, that will be economic, that is your sir will take, and from Tuesday morning and evening your polity class will be there. Okay, because of some urgency, polity sir will not available on Monday, so Monday class will be run by economic teacher, and from Tuesday onwards your polity class both morning and evening. So this is my request. Ranchi, Ludhiana, Amritsar, Bilaspur, Raipur, Dibrugarh, Shimoga, Ludhiana, all centers. This I announced again. Monday को आपकी पॉलिटी की क्लास नहीं, इकोनॉमिक्स की क्लास होगी मॉर्निंग और इवनिंग में, और पॉलिटी क्लास आपको फिर ट्यूसडे से स्टार्ट होगी, ट्यूसडे से फ्राइडे योर पॉलिटी क्लास विल बी देयर, क्योंकि सर को कुछ पॉलिटी, हमारी जो पॉलिटी की फैकल्टी हैं, if some urgent work, that's he will not available on Monday, so he will continue, you will take the class from Tuesday onwards, Tuesday to Friday. Okay, so this all about the today's current affair class. We will continue with some more topic in next class. I will give you the PDF of all these three current affair issues. Okay, any doubt स्टूडेंट यू हैव? आपको आया ये बात समझ में आया? मंडे को जो क्लास होगी आपको बिलासपुर, मंडे को क्लास होगी वो है इकोनॉमिक्स की क्लास और ट्यूसडे से आपकी पॉलिटी क्लास लगेगी. यू हैव एनी डाउट देन आस्क क्वेश्चन हियर. So student, you have no any doubt, then we'll meet next class. Okay, I will upload the PDF file you download from expression.ai. Okay. Tomorrow is your test, so try to give try to attempt all the questions. Economic test will be there. Okay, 20 questions will be there. Okay, thank you to all. Good night.